Hey, it's me, Maddie Lim, and today we're doing something I've been wanting to do for forever, one of my favorite types of video on the entire internet, and that is ranking. Because if you watch my intro video, you know one of my favorite things to do is judge. It's my favorite thing, and what is more judgmental than ranking things? What are we ranking today? So glad you asked. We are ranking fantasy and dystopian book adaptations. Specifically more of the YA genre. There are maybe a few adult in there, but this was for Gen Z, for the millennials, okay? One thing you may notice is that seemingly two authors who are very prolific in the book adaptation world are missing, and that is going to be J.K. Rowling and Neil Gaiman for obvious reasons. And this is going to require some glasses, so let's introduce you to the tier system. So at the bottom we have I don't know who this man is, aka I have not watched this movie. I cannot properly judge it because of that. Would I love to? Yes, but I haven't gotten there yet. Next we have shooting the author would be less painful. This is an adaptation that should have stayed as a script. It never should have gotten to the filming process. And actually, it's an insult to the author that it was ever made. Next tier we have a movie was made. It is there. I forget about it all the time, and honestly, you should too. Next we have I love trash, aka this is bad, but I could rewatch it. This is something that you'll put on when you're bored. It's kind of more of a comfort watch. Second to last is, you know what? Hell yeah. This is a good movie and a good adaptation. And lastly, at the very top, we have We're So Back, aka a movie that makes you feel like this is why I watch movies. This is why I go into the theater and sit down in the dark and pay $12.99 for a popcorn and a seat. Now you're gonna ask me, Maddie, is this based on if it's a good adaptation or if it's a good movie? Yes, this is based on really however I feel about the movie. It could be a really shitty adaptation, but a really good movie. And it can also be a really good movie that's a shitty adaptation that just pissed me off so bad I don't want to look at it. This is vibes. This is I'm right, you're wrong, shut up about it. What I say goes. First, we're going to start off with the movies that I have not seen. Let's just get out of the way, okay? This one's really shameful. I will watch it, I plan on it, and I think if I had watched it, it would be in the top tiers, but I have not seen My Lady Jane. Next, I don't know if you know, but do you remember this series, the Ruby Red series? Well, it was adapted, but in Germany, so I don't think I'll ever watch it, but I tried to put every single adaptation I could think of on here so no one could be like, oh my god, you didn't include this. I even asked all of my followers, so it is their fault if I missed something. It's on you guys. Next we have The Golden Compass with Nicole Kidman, and then we have the newer rendition of His Dark Materials. That one looks good. Golden Compass, not so much. Chaos Walking, that adaptation of a Patrick Ness book starring the girl from Star Wars and Tom Holland. Literally, it came out, no one said a peep about it. I have not heard a single person even review that. I don't think it's a real movie, in all honesty. Aragon, surprisingly, I don't think I've seen Aragon, and if I did, I do not remember it, so. Immortal Engines, I started watching this, and I did not finish it. Now we are starting our ranking, now that we have all those out of the way. We're gonna start, actually, with the Hunger Games series, because how can we freaking not? The first Hunger Games movie, a classic, and I think it has a very different tone than the rest of them. It's not as well polished, which I like, honestly, and we're gonna put it at the very top. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest. Next we're gonna have Catching Fire, who I think we all know is the best movie out of all of the movies that has been produced. It is a cinematic masterpiece. Finnick Odair's in it. Need I say more? And that's actually going to go in front of the Hunger Games. Then we have Mockingjay Part 1, which I will say, like anything that is a Part 1, it's the most boring part. Did it need to be split into two parts? The answer is no. We all know the answer is no. It was for money. Then we have Mockingjay Part 2, which is so sad. Seeing PETA like that literally breaks my heart. If it's so hard to watch, and it's gonna go in hell yeah. I'm sorry, it's gonna go in hell yeah. Now we have The Ballad of the Songbird and the Snake, starring my favorite Rachel Zegler and Tom Blythe. I think this is better than the book. I didn't particularly like the book that much, honestly. I listened to the audiobook, it was interesting, but it didn't really grab me. And it's a really good adaptation, I think, that makes the book feel like a better book than it actually is. So that's gonna go in We're So Back. I watched that and I was like, oh, book adaptions are back. We're making good ones again, aren't we? Next we have the Divergent series. Truly a mystifying case, this one, because the first one, I think we all know, started off very strong. A pretty good adaptation, a pretty good movie, but it definitely fell off. So the first one, hell yeah. Actually, no, I take it back. I'm gonna put it in I Love Trash. It's not nearly as good as like the first Hunger Games movie. It is, in fact, I hate to say it, a copycat. Is it very different? Yeah, but was this made in response to the Hunger Games? Also, yeah. Next we have Insurgent. The end of the end. But it does have this really iconic moment where Shailene Woodley screams like this. So we're gonna put that as a movie was made. I honestly forget that there are other Divergent movies other than the first one. I keep forgetting that they actually did continue to make them. Allegiant. A movie that was split in two because they were going to have a second movie and it was going to be a made-for-television movie. That's how far this franchise fell. And that's going to go with shooting the author would have been less painful because it was not a good adaptation. And it wasn't a good movie. 0 for 2. Next we got the Twilight Saga. Now, I have never read Twilight. I don't plan on it. Stephenie Meyers is a weirdo. Insert the evidence here, here, and here. But we cannot deny the cultural touchstone that is the Twilight series. Also, did you guys know that Midnight Sun, the one where it's all gender swap, is being made into an animated series by Netflix? The first one, Twilight. And the best one. Is this the only one that is directed by a woman too, and then they snatched it from her hands and gave it to a man after it was successful? Pretty sure. This one is gonna go in... hell yeah. Honestly, the aesthetic of this movie, the soundtrack of this movie, lives in my head rent-free. Is it a good movie? No. Script-wise, no. Aesthetically, and the way it's shot, yeah. Then we have Breaking Dawn, which I feel like they were still trying to capture the feel of Twilight with this one, but they were like orange. The feel but orange. The feel but werewolves are now what we're on. We're gonna go with a movie was made. The only thing I really remember about this movie is the possibility when she's sitting in the chair and all the seasons are changing around her, which is iconic, but it's all I can remember. Eclipse is immediately going in a movie was made. I don't remember a goddamn thing about Eclipse. I think it's really a throwaway. Breaking Dawn Part 1, which I think we all know is going in a movie was made. This one was also, again, boring. They got married. They went on a honeymoon. They had sex. Uh-oh, I'm pregante. And it's just a pregnancy movie. Not my thing, not my thing. Then we have Breaking Dawn Part 2, which again, I have not read the books, but I do know in the books that giant plot twist obviously is not in there, but I'm gonna put that in I Love Trash. Because that is a highly entertaining movie. Okay, we have Bella as a vampire, and then we get Resume growing at an uncomfortable speed. We have the
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster!
Gold. The plot twist? So entertaining. What I would do to have been in the theaters watching that. Next we have The Lord of the Rings, which is not YA, but I couldn't not include The Lord of the Rings, which is a cinematic masterpiece. This won Oscars. How many fantasy dystopian TV shows and movies win awards? Like none, because for some reason award ceremonies don't appreciate them the way that we do. So I'm just gonna do this real quick. All at the top. Every single one. Banger after banger. These are some of the best movies ever made, period, point blank. And they stand the test of time. These look amazing. The CGI and the practical effects hold up so well. That is why so many of our movies look like shit today, because everyone forgets about practical effects. I love them so much. The Immortal Instruments, City of Bones. Now, I have conflicting feelings about this. I learned recently through TikTok that a lot of people actually really adore this movie and the whole cast. I can't say the same. I think Lily Collins is a great Clary, even though her hair color changed every 5 seconds. Jamie, whatever his face is, I think he suits Jace. He fits the kind of Chase that Cassandra Clare was writing. The way he looks, that is Cassandra Clare's aesthetic right there. Alec, I didn't like that casting. Izzy was fine. Simon, we all know, was god tier. Everyone was petitioning for Simon to be recast when they did Shadowhunters. But we also got that iconic garden scene where Demi Lovato was just blasting out of the loudest speakers known to man.
Your life forever.
We got an Ariana Grande on the soundtrack. This was iconic. I honestly am surprised it did not get a second movie. I know the cast had signed on for a multi-movie contract. Everyone was prepared for this to be the next Twilight, the next Hunger Games, and it flopped. And I think the movie, the first half is very accurate to the book. The second half really went off the rails. Also, why does Valentine have dreads? Also, this scene where Chase is touching Clary's face with just his hand, jail time. That is criminally awful. I need to rewatch this movie. I'll probably do it on this channel because I haven't seen it in years. But I'm gonna go with I Love Trash. Shadowhunters, the TV show. Also, controversial opinion, I've only watched season 1 and 2. I did not get to season 3. Maybe I will do a rewatch of all of it and then get to season 3. But if you only watch season 1, I totally understand why you're like, this is shit, this is trash. But season 2 got a budget upgrade. It looks so good. The CGI was amazing. The fight choreography, drooling. And I really love the casting, specifically for Magnus, Alec, and Izzy. Alec and Izzy, that is the hottest sibling duo to ever grace the screen in cinematic history. I was drooling every time they were on screen. Season 1, I think, is decent. Season 2 is amazing. I really like it. Is it all over the place? But in the most fun way. Honestly, people should give it a second chance. And I'm gonna go with, surprisingly, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Have you seen the edits from that TV show? The YouTube edits? So freaking good. Honestly, may be clouding my judgment because I just watched those more than I actually watched the TV show, but who gives a flying fuck? Next we have Percy Jackson. As I said in my intro video, I've been a Percy Jackson girl since I was in the 5th grade, okay? This is my bread and butter. This is what I lived and breathed. I would take those quizzes all the time, trying to make sure that I knew the most about Percy Jackson that anyone knew in a room. I was an expert. So imagine me seeing the movie for the first time. One, I was a little bit clouded by how attractive I found Logan Lerman at the time. And I think the movie is entertaining, but it is a god-awful adaptation. Not a single thing in there felt like Percy Jackson. I think the sets, specifically for the camp, were so cool. I loved that. That's about it. And of course, the iconic iPhone scene, the Lady Gaga scene, fun, but a bad adaptation. And while I think this is I Love Trash, I am putting it, shooting the author would be less painful. Have you ever read those emails that Rick Riordan released where he showed like what he told the studio after he had read the script? No? You should, because it is highly entertaining. We have the Sea of Monsters, which whatever charm and whatever characterization that the actors did in the first one, I don't know what happened, but it was all sucked away. It was ripped off of their heads like a cheap ass wig. Also, they waited like 3 years, I think, between. They waited a really long time between the first one and the second one. So it was like kind of like they were just like, I guess we'll do it. If we make money, ha. If we don't, whatever. It's like, how do you get worse than The Lightning Thief? Because that was awful. They were like, we gave you Blonde Annabeth, so you should be happy. Sit down and eat your food. But the food was molding. And they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's perfectly good. And I'm like, this is black mold. This is black mold with a blonde wig on it. Now we have the Disney Plus series, Percy Jackson. Personally, I am following the BDS boycott. So, I only watched this. Do I have issues with the series? Yes. Do I think it is a perfect adaptation? No. Do I also like a lot of the changes they made to it? Do I think they improved on things? Also, yes. I'm gonna put this, and hell yeah. Honestly, it hurts me that it's not Warso back, but I do think it could get better in later seasons. And I love those kid actors so much, Leah and Walker and Arian. I will protect them with my life. If you touch them, I can't fight, but I will die for them. I will die in their place. The Maze Runner. You may notice that the rest of the Maze Runner series is not here. It's because I haven't watched any of them. I watched the first one. I think this is pretty good. I think it's a pretty good whack at trying to capture what the Hunger Games had and what Divergent failed to do. I think it goes Hunger Games, Maze Runner, Divergent. And the quality of these movies is really good. Like, it's got that gritty dystopian look and aesthetic, and it doesn't look cheap. I think they did a decent job, and I think it made decent money also. That is gonna go in... Hell yeah. This section is what I like to call the 2013 to 2016 failures. These are all the movies that were so sure they were going to be franchises, were so sure that they were going to get the cash cow that Hunger Games and Twilight and Harry Potter had, and they desperately wanted it, and they failed at every turn because they were what? Not only bad movies, but bad adaptations. Just look at Twilight. Those are not good movies, but they are pretty good adaptations from what I hear. And if you have a loyal fan base, they're not going to care that a movie is, like, not that good as long as it's faithful. These movies were not that good and not that faithful. Now, to contradict myself, literally 5 seconds after I said it, Beautiful Creatures is a fantastic movie. And again, it suffers from that, I don't know what it is about these adaptations, where halfway through the movie they decide, what if we did everything different? What if we just made our own book? And I think that is the case for Beautiful Creatures. But the aesthetics of this movie, so good. All their little southern accents, I ate it the fuck up. And I think it deserved a low budget sequel. And I'm gonna go with hell yeah. Okay, I love this. It's a comfort watch. And I think it's a decent movie and a decent adaptation. I am number 4. I read the first book. It is different than this. Everyone really wanted Alex Pettyfer to happen. I think he's actually a terrible person, and that's why he never happened. Diana Agron is in this, though. We love her. Why she never happened is a real question, because that woman is drop dead gorgeous. But I don't think it's a decent movie, so I'm gonna go with I Love Trash. I think it's a solid placement. And I think the action is really cool and fun, and the world building is unique. It's not like everything else. The Fifth Wave. I love this book. This book, have I finished the series? No, but The Fifth Wave is a 5-star read. Plot twist was so good. It's the kind that literally makes you sit down and stare at a wall, and then you have to go back and start the book over to be like, wait a minute, am I stupid? And the answer is yes, but the answer is also the author is really smart and they set this up from the beginning. The movie, however, not so much. Plot twist, nowhere to be found. There was no mystery like there is in the book. And I think it's a bad movie and a bad adaptation. And I'm gonna go... honestly, you know what? Shooting the Author would be worse. Hate it. I was so excited for it. Vampire Academy. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with this. And they didn't go the Twilight route with Vampire Academy, where they took it seriously and had fun. They just did not take it seriously and acted like it was a clown show. They did vampires but mean girls. They tried to make it like quirky and full of pop culture references. I love trash though, because it is entertaining. There was a TV show, a Peacock TV show that they redid of Vampire Academy that I have not watched. The host, the come up for Stephenie Meyer's after Twilight. And you know what? I read the book and I watched the movie and they were both pretty good. I'm gonna go with, hell yeah, The Darkest Minds. Again, I am a huge fan of Alexandra Bracken. I talked about it in my intro video. The Darkest Minds means so much to me, and I was so excited for this movie because I think the cast is fantastic. Kisses, kisses, kisses on all of their little cheeks and foreheads. But the movie was not good, and again, it did the thing where halfway through, it went, what if we went this way instead of following the direction that the book clearly gave us. I think the movie tried a little bit too hard to not be so serious, and I think The Darkest Minds is actually a really dark series, especially later on. The first book is my favorite because it's more of a road trip book, and it didn't even capture the road trip-ness of the first book, which is my favorite part. But there's a lot of darkness in this. I mean, it is literally kids in jail. So I'm gonna go with I Love Trash. Actually, it's gonna go in front of these. I'm kind of ranking these a little bit. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Also read that entire series. I don't know why I read it. I didn't actually like it that much. But it's so fun. It's quirky. It's an original idea that has never been done. And again, it does the thing where it's super faithful, and then what if we went nowhere that you thought and we put in skeletons randomly? What if we switched the main character's love interest powers from fire to floating? Because why not? But it is like a fun movie, and I think it's visually fun, and all the child actors are really good in it. So I'm gonna go with I Love Trash. More movies with this look and vibe, but made better. I feel like there's a whole bunch of these like Tim Burton-esque movies that they make that visually look amazing, but they just think they can throw away the script because of that, which you cannot do. The Giver. The movie is fine. It was made. I honestly have forgotten about it. I have no desire to watch it. All I remember is it's black and white, and then it's color, and Taylor Swift was in it. The School for Good and Evil. Have not read the book. It was after my time. That makes me sound like an ancient dinosaur. I'm not. I'm young. I'm vibrant. This is a fun movie. It's fun. I don't know if it's going to get a sequel. Has that been denied or greenlit? This is based on a middle grade book, and it feels like it. This feels like a middle grade movie. And I think we've lost the recipe for that. Like, kids don't have, like, things made for them, I feel like, anymore. It's either Baby Goo Goo Gaga, Sonic, and then adult. And there's no middle ground. And I think this is a really good middle ground. Is it cringy as fuck? Yes, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about.
I hope I'm not late.
But the fashion is fun. The world is fun. I'm gonna go with hell yeah. I'm gonna go with hell yeah. I liked it. Also, Sophia looked gorgeous in every scene. I couldn't stop staring at her. So pretty. A series of unfortunate events. This is the recipe that Netflix needs to use for all of its book adaptations, because this is beautifully done. Visually, scripturally, acting-wise. It's so good. I have not read these books, but I have heard that it is pretty accurate, and it definitely captures the vibe of the books. They didn't take it too seriously. They didn't take it too goofy. They did it right where they're supposed to. We're so back. We are so back. It's a perfect adaptation for someone who's never read the books. I love this TV show. Interview with a Vampire. Saw the original movie. Did I put that on here? No, I did not. I didn't want to look at Brad Pitt, okay? I didn't want to look at that man's face. I've only watched season 1 of this. Interview with a Vampire just deserves all the awards, all the recognition. It is just truly a masterpiece. Shadow and Bone. My Shayla. The first season was so good. Such a good adaptation. I loved how it looked. It looked expensive, too, which is probably why season 2 looked like shit, because they knew they were going to get canceled, and that's why they literally squished everything they physically could into one season, and that's why it was a bad season. But I'm going to put it as We're So Back, because watching that first season was so satisfying. I crave that feeling, and I'm so sad it was canceled. The Six of Crows spin-off will forever haunt me. The Vampire Diaries. Yes, it is a book adaptation. The first season is a We're So Back. The first 3 seasons, like when Elena is human. After that, not so much. It definitely falls off the rail, but it is still iconic. Every October, I get the itch to watch it again. Fallen. Do you know about Fallen? Does anyone know that Fallen had a movie that came out? No? Crickets? Yeah, that's because it went straight to DVD. Boring. Forgettable. Cheap looking. Horrible casting. Shooting the author would be less painful. Lockwood & Co. I did not read these books, but I love this TV show, so I had to include it. I was so upset when I got canceled. I love it so much. I love all the characters. I love the lore. It's so interesting. The world is so interesting, and I'm so sad. But it's gonna go right at the top because I love it so much. Warm Bodies. Warm Bodies is truly an anomaly in the zombie space, because, like, what other zombie movie or TV show is doing it like her? No. Are they having a Romeo and Juliet retelling? I don't think so. It's not quite We're So Back. It's really good, though. I do really love it. Narnia. I don't know how I feel exactly about the Narnia movies, because the first one is so nostalgic. It just makes you feel like a little kid knocking at the back of your wardrobe, hoping something magical will happen to you. And the other movies, I think, are pretty decent. So I'm going to go with hell yeah. I don't really remember the other movies as well as the first one, because I've not really watched those repeatedly the way I did this one. Ella Enchanted. I don't know what the book is like. I don't think it's very accurate to the book. But I love Ella Enchanted. I was Ella for Halloween last year, this year, whatever year. It is a comfort movie. You just love to see it. What movies now have musical breaks? None. Huh? Do they? I don't think so. Straight to the top. Straight to the motherfucking top. The 100. Do we all remember where we were when the 100 came out? I do. Bellamy and Clark. Everything to me. The fact that Bellark, which is a great ship name, by the way, one of the best, never happened because the showrunner is such a... makes me so mad. The way it ended for the two of them, I don't like to speak about it. I didn't watch last season because I knew what happened and I refuse. I refuse to watch it. It's gonna go in hell yeah. Shannara Chronicles. I never watched season 2. But season 1, so good. From MTV, it looked like this. Where did that money come from for a high fantasy budget? Uglies. I started watching it. Could not finish it. It was so bad. It was so bad. That is literally them being like, oh, we have the rights to this. I guess we should just like make it. I'll give you $5. If I had to see one more skateboarding scene, I was gonna scream my bloody head off. The Princess Bride. I just had to include it. It's just cute and fun. And it's personally not my favorite, but it is really iconic. But it's gonna go I Love Trash. Do I think it deserves higher? Yes, but for me personally, it's gonna go there. First Kill. Terrible television, cheesy, cheap looking. Give me 20 seasons of this shit. I wanted so much more of this awful, cheesy, sapphic vampire show. I know it didn't cost them any money to make that, clearly. Maximum Ride. Do you know that this came out? I didn't. Someone commented on it and I was like, I guess I'll put it in there. I forgot to put this at the lower thing. I've never seen it. Inkheart. I love Inkheart. Never read the books, but this movie, it has that feel of, sorry to say, Stardust. I love Stardust, but Neil Gaiman, fuck you. That early 2000s fantasy movie feel that I crave like a drug. Alright, so we have my final ranking. I'm feeling very satisfied with this. I'm pretty nice about book to movie adaptations. Like, look at all these like 4-star movies that I have. I'm very kind, okay? Judgmental? Yes. Lenient? Hell yeah. But this is my ranking. What would you change? I really don't care, but you know, it would be interesting to see. That has been ranking fantasy and dystopian book adaptations. See you next time.